In the previous session, we saw what is object-oriented programming concept. We saw methods, we saw the visibility of methods. What is a method? Method is just a behavior of any object, right? Whatever object we are going to create, its behavior is your method and its property is called your attributes. So to understand the concept, we also have taken a requirement to create a method which will display us employee details. Now I want to call this particular usual ABAP class, right? I have created my usual ABAP class. Let me just open it. So SC24, we create our program. SC24 is the transaction code to create our usual ABAP class. We had created it. We created our method. Now, if I have to call this method, so if I have to call,
Sorry, when did you, okay, you created this one yesterday, right?
yes, we had created this method in the previous session. Now, the topic of today is, first topic of today. First topic of today is calling our usual ABAP class into a program. Okay, we are calling it in our program. So what I will do, I will go to SE38 and create a program, right? So I'm creating a program calling class in program. I'll go for create title usual ABAP class and its type will be executable. Sign the package and transport request. So I have to call that method. What is the requirement of my method? This method is expecting parameter in form of select option, and it is also expecting a internal table, right, in which it can
Yes.
return some data. So what I will do, first I will create a structure for it so that we can define an internal table. So begin of ty employee, this is my structure, employee ID, type, it's data element, second column employee name, type, it's data element, third column is department, type, it's data element, fourth column is manager, type, it's data element, and we will end our employee structure. One thing is this. Another thing is LT employee type table of, which is my internal table. I am creating TY employee, and then I am creating my work area. Type my structure. Very simple. Then I will define a select option, right?
Yes.
So data, a variable for my select option, type data element, then select options, and I will define the select option for variable employee ID. So I will activate, go to text element and give a name for this selector option. So selection text, I will give its range for employee ID. What else we are going to do? I'll go back. And in start of selection, I will call my method, right? In start of selection, I will call my method. So how we are going to call our method? Global method, how we are going to call it? So click on pattern. This is how we call our function module, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you want to call a method, select this ABAP object pattern and press enter. And here you will have to pass a instance, object, class name and method name. So do you remember what is the type of my level of my method? Static method, right?
Static
It is
method.
a
Yeah.
static method. What is
Yeah.
static? Static is the class property. We do not need any object to access it, right? Static is the class property. We can directly access our method using class name. So copy
Mm-hmm.
the class name. We are no longer need object at this moment. So I will directly pass my class name and followed by method name and press enter. Just see, this is how this is how your method is called look like when it is called inside the program. Just see, static method, whenever you will call static method, by default you are going to see here double equal to followed by, this is known as employee dat, right?
Yes.
So employee dat you are going to see for case of your static method. And now you can pass your select option from here. So as employee id, it is expecting internal table, so I will give brackets. Then it will return me LT employee, so I will get my data back in my internal table. Okay, enough, right? Is this?
Mm-hmm.
So now I can write that if size of RC equals to 0, right? It simply means my method is executed successfully. This is why we use size of RC. So in between, I can display my data. So loop at LT employee into your work area. Why this is showing double P here? Okay, let's remove it. Loop at LT employee into LS employee and loop, and then I will write my data. So write LS employee ID, plus employee name, plus employee department, plus employee manager. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's check it out. I will put a debugger on this method. I will go for execute. I will give here an input. Just give here an input 105. I will click on execute button and let's go to Dexter 3. We are at line 25. Now click on F5. Tell me where we are. Where we
Line.
are.
We're on the line, the second line.
Read this thing. Where we are. We are inside method employee
Method,
details.
method employee
Go
details.
to
Yeah.
your method. Can you see? Is this the same stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing.
The
So
same
we
thing.
are here. We are at this place. Now you can debug it. You can debug it. Check if you are getting all those data or not. Are you getting?
Yeah.
Yes, we are getting. Are you getting all this data? So this is
Mm-hmm.
not initial. So now I will get out of this function and it will display my data. Okay.
Okay.
Also, we can see for our exception, the value of my size of RC is 1. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So I can put here else if size of RC equals to 1, what I can do is I can display a message. Message will be employee data do not exist for given employee ID. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
type information, activate and execute it. Give some input, let's say 109 to 111. and execute. Can you see?
Employee data does not exist for giving employee ID.
So this is how we can call a static method. Static method. We are calling a static method. This is my static method. Now we have seen calling static method. First thing, calling static method. Next thing is second, calling calling uh, instance method. Instance method. Go to your program. Go to your program and here change its level. Okay, change its level to instance. Change its level to instance. Okay,
Instead
activate
of
it.
static,
Yes, we are making it instance. What is instance? What is instance? Instance method can only be accessed by the
access
objects of
by
class.
object of class.
So
Okay.
now if you will go to your program, comment out this thing. Comment out this thing. Comment out this thing. Sorry. Comment out this thing. Go below. Go for pattern. Go for ABAP object pattern. Just pass the class and method. Just pass the class and method. Oh, wait a second. Wait a Michael. I have a call. Okay.
Okay.
What is Yeah. Hi Michael. So
Yep.
now let's try to call this method. Okay, using the name of class. Just see how it is going to change. I am using the name of the method. This time I'm using the name of the class to call this method. Now I'll click on OK button. Can you see what it is written? Me.
Hmm. Me.
Me. And can you see this is a single array?
Yes.
This is a single array. Me is for current object. It is referring to current object. Now let's see what is going to happen if I will try to display this time. Okay. So I will write is employee ID, is employee ID. Just see what is going to happen. Is employee ID, LT employee, and just remove this. If size of RC equals to 0, I will display it. Else I will display. Can you see?
One error found. Activate. You want to activate?
Field ME is unknown. ME is a property of a class. I am using it inside this program because this
Mm-hmm.
is an instance of method and it is expecting a object. But this ME is not a object, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
not a object. So we need to create a object for our class. Then I can call this method because this method is an instance method. So I will have to create a object. Okay, I
Okay.
will
Yeah.
have to create a object. Sorry. So how will I do that? So creating object or calling instance method, we will always need object of that class. I will use the object of that particular class. Okay, how will I do that? So creating objects. So for objects, first we need reference of the class, and then we create our objects. First we need reference of the class and then we create our object. So how I will do that? So here in the start of selection, let's define our object. So data, just see how we define our object. I am
Okay.
giving its name as LO object for local object. Okay, I'm giving its name by myself, LO object. Type ref to, reference to the class name. What is my class name, Michael? This is my class name. I will copy it, I will paste here, and I will create my object. So create object, my LO object. First I will define the reference and then I will create the object. This is the syntax one. Syntax one to create our object, or I can say this is the old approach to create a object. Another syntax is syntax 2, syntax 2 data keyword again, LO object, uh, mm, what was the new syntax? I will have to check it. Let me just see. I am forgetting it. LO object, yeah. The another syntax is data. This is the new syntax. Okay, LO object is equal to new keyword followed by your class name and parenthesis opening and closing. It's giving some issue. Why? A new class. Why it is getting this error? Oh, sorry. Dot. Okay. LO object is already declared. Yes, we have declared above. Now let's make it LO object 1. Can you see?
It's correct now.
This is one way to define our method. Define our object. This is another way. Both are creating the same thing. This is the new syntax 7.4 or 7.5 syntax, which is currently working in the market, very latest. And this is the old way. Totally up to you. Everything works in the same way. Totally up to you which you want to prefer. Okay. This is the one way to create our object. This is the another way to create our object. Okay. This new is ref keyword has been taken from Java programming language. There we use new keyword to create our object. Okay. So I have created my object with the name LO object. Now I can use this object to call my method because it is an instance. So pattern, ABAP object pattern, and here I will pass my instance and just see now. Can you see LO object? Single
Yeah.
arrow. Now just see the
Singular.
difference between static and instance method. Single arrow and employee date. Okay. So as employee ID, and here in the importing, pass your internal table LT employee. Okay. Now activate it, execute it, pass the correct input, execute it, and you will get the data. Okay. Pass the wrong input and you will get your message information. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is your static method versus instance method. Now you see this is public. Okay, visibility we have given public. If you remember, we have discussed this thing, visibility. Public, it can be accessed within the class, within its child class, and outside the class also. Outside the class also. Okay. So
Yeah.
can I say that I am calling it outside the class? Right? We are
Yeah.
calling my class, we are calling this method in a program, right? And my class is there in SE24. So I'm calling directly outside it. Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now let's change the visibility and see what is going to happen. I will make it protected. I will activate it. Now just go and see if I am executing it, it is working or not. Can you see?
It's not working.
The error is at line 42. If I will go below, it has given me a runtime error at line 42. Do you know why? The reason
Why?
is I made it protected. Protected can be accessed within the class and within the child class. That is, parent and child class have the access of these methods, not outside the class. I am calling it outside. That is why I am getting a runtime dump.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot call your protected method. You cannot call your protected method directly. Okay,
Yeah.
cannot call it here because it is a protected method. Then let's go for private. Now let's change it to private and understand it. What is the region of private? Recall it. Recall our method. Just see what is going to happen. Let's see if it is there or not. So I'll go for pattern, ABAP object pattern. I will pass my hello object, class name, and method name. What is the name of the method? Let's go for employee details and paste here. Press enter. It is calling. Okay. But what is going to happen when I will execute it? I have made this method private. This is not accessible for anyone, and I am calling it outside the class, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is going to happen? Going to happen? Uncomment all the exceptions by default. Remove this code and let's see. Activate
Mm-hmm.
it. Can you see?
Yeah. Error.
Is unknown or
Or
protected or
protected or
private.
private.
Can you see this problem?
Yeah.
So you cannot call either protected or private outside the class. Private is the most efficient thing. It is only accessible within the same class. If you want to call this method, you can call it inside any other method in the same class, but you cannot use it outside. You cannot call it outside. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is your usual ABAP class. Is every concept clear? Is every concept clear?
Yes, it is clear, but I have to look at it again.
Yes, yes.
In order to be
Object-oriented
able to
programming.
understand it.
Very beautiful in nature. Now only I activate it, execute it, execute it. See, everything is working fine. I have changed it to public again. So this is your global classes, mostly known as usual ABAP class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see how we can create our own classes. How we can create our own classes. Okay, go back. So let's define local classes. Second thing, local classes in ABAP program. So local classes in SAP ABAP, local classes in SAP ABAP are classes that are defined within the context within the context of a program or function module. Anywhere we can define it. But unlike global classes, which are defined independently and can be accessed from any program, local classes are only accessible within the program or function module where they have been defined. Is this thing clear?
Yeah.
They have been defined. So local classes are dedicated to one program only. Okay, they are only dedicated to one program only, and we can create local class with the help of SC38 transaction code. Okay, inside our program can create it. We have also seen in the previous session how to define a local class. We have seen the definition of it. First step is class definition, in which we will define the declaration part, and then we will have second, which is class implementation, where we will write the logic part. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
logic part. Two things. Again, I am going to take the same requirement that we have achieved using global classes. I am going to implement it from local classes now. Okay, I will create my local class. I will show you how to create. So ZMI local class this time. All these programs are by default in the system. You can take the reference anytime. Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Just local classes in ABAP. Type executable. This is my local class, Michael. Let's see. By default, I need the structure. So let's bring the structure from our previous session. Right, structure up to select option. I'm bringing it directly. Okay.
Okay.
Now just see how I am going to define it. What is the definition way? What is the definition way? First class definition, then class implementation. So here class name that you want to give. Okay. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this class name as employee class. Okay. Then we have its a keyword definition. This is class definition. We are defining our class. Inside it we will give the declaration, then we will have implementation. So class definition, by default in SAP everything that starts will always have an ending part, so end class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
now in between you can give your sections. Let me just show you. Go back to your global class. Everything that you can do from global class you can also do it from local class. Same thing. Visibility, public, protected, private, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here you can define your public section like this way. Public section, if you want protected section, this is the order. Okay. Private section, anything that you want to define in between you can define it. So let's say I am for now defining a public methods. Okay. So in the public
Mm-hmm.
section, using methods keyword, we can define our methods. Is this thing clear? Methods is used to define your method. Now give the name of your method. So let's say I'm giving it employee data. Okay, this is the name of the methods I am passing, and then we will have the parameter of this method. Same thing what we did after the visibility, we passed this methods. Okay, we passed it, we pass the parameter here inside this parameter keyword, right? So parameter, just copy it. First type is importing, so here I will go for importing first. Importing, name of parameter, type, and its data type. Same to same approach, but logically we are writing it now. Okay, importing. Then we will have exporting keyword, which is there, right? Exporting,
Mm.
sorry,
Yeah.
no comma here, only this thing, exporting. And lt employee, okay, lt employee, type, and its data type. This thing clear?
It's clear.
This is the declaration part of method. Now tell me, is this a instance method or is this a static method? Tell me.
Where is the arrow?
Yes, there is no, I have not written anything for that, right?
Mm.
If anything is not mentioned, it simply means it is a uh, sorry, instance method. Okay. If
Okay.
you want to define a static method, you can use class methods keyword. Class method keywords is used to define a static method. Okay. Let's name it
Mm-hmm.
employee data one. Class method keyword is used to define a static method. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm commenting it. This is a static instance method. This is a static method. So this is the class declaration part. Now we will go for logic. So class name and same class, employee class, and I will go for its implementation now. Employee class implementation and class and class and class. Now in this implementation, just bring your method. What is the name of your method? Employee data. Every method that you are going to define in it, you must have a implementation here. So method and followed by method name. Then we will have a period. After that, and method. And we will write our logic here in this between. If you have some more method, like if this is employee data one, you will have to write here like method employee data one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
employee data one and method. You will have to write the logic here like this way. But since I have commented it already, so there is no need of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now in between we can write our logic. So just bring the logic from there that we had written. So I am just bringing the logic. Okay, simple.
Okay.
Name manager from table into your internal table. You can write your logic and then it is done. This is how local class is defined. This is how local class is defined. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then always this is the entire definition part. By default you can use the modularization technique. You can use the modularization technique to store these things in an include program, totally up to you. Then
Okay.
in start of selection, I will go for start of selection. I will create my object. Okay, so data
Okay.
keyword hello object is equal to new, my class name. What is my class? Employee class. Employee class, both opening and closing brackets and period. This is my object. Then I can call my method, right? How we call my method? So call it, call method, call method, object name. So allo object, because it is an instance method. So allo object, arrow, right? Then
Yeah.
my method name, then importing, sorry, exporting this time what we want to send from here. So in the exporting, what it is, p employee id, let's bring it. P employee is receiving by by class, so it is importing here, but we are sending from here, so it will be in exporting. So p employee id equals to my select option as employee id, and in the importing we'll have our internal table. So lt employee is equal to my lt employee internal table, right? So this is the one way you can directly. Is this the same way my method was defined when I called it from here, right? ABAP
Yeah.
object patterns, this is the same way. So one way is to write this in this manner, another
And
way
one way
is to
call it.
allo object, you can do like this way also. Allo object, call your method name. Employee data is your method name, so employee data. Now everything you can write in this parenthesis. So here exporting keyword, in the exporting you can pass the exporting data. So p employee id is equal to s employee id, and then we will have importing. So importing data, importing data. This is the other way. Again, this is your choice how you are going to write it and how you are going to display it. Now you can loop it and display your data. So loop add lt employee into your work area and loop and display your data. So write ls employee, employee id, ls employee, employee name, ls employee department, manager. Okay, activate this thing and execute it. Can you see?
Yeah.
There is some problem why this data is coming in the same line, because we didn't have given here slash. Okay, line is not changing. Now it will be okay. Yeah, it is okay. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is how we define the concept of local classes. We define the concept of local classes. Is this thing clear?
It is clear.
Very, very important.